Game week 10. We're here. Hello and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Fantasy Football Fix. I am Richard from the Dipsy Dudes and it is game week 10. It's the classic time in the year where you truly start to see where your teams are starting to go. You can evaluate where they are, both in real life and in fantasy football. There's some interesting games coming up in this game week, but before we dive into it, I guess we better have a look at game week 9 and their dream team, if you want to call it that. The Dream Team highlights why the scores were so low last week. What a bloody mismatch of players this is. Like the land of the misfit toys. Of the 11 players in the team, 6 of those players are selected by less than 1% of managers. Those being Isla Fisher, Fernandez, Monreal, my main man Main, Eto, and Stone Cold Charlie Austin. The only players that were selected by over 10% of managers were Silva and Sanchez, the latter being the most informed player in the game today, and after his 16-point haul moves into the overall dream team. Looking at the rest of the team, we have a dentist trio in the front with all braces for everyone. Robert Green had a game to remember, making 6 saves for QPR against Villa, and Skirtle was the biggest point-scoring defender after a clean sheet and maximum bonus points. Though, if Liverpool's man of the match is a defender when they are playing Hull at home, you can tell they've got problems up front. I mean, if only Liverpool had an England international striker they could bring in to their team to replace Balotelli. I mean, I know Sturridge is injured, but I guess there's just no one who could fit that bill for Liverpool. Right, that was the black hole that was game week 9. Let's hope for bigger and better things as we look at the players for your consideration in game week 10. Looking at the fixtures this week, the two standout bankers seem to be Arsenal and Chelsea, playing host to the bottom 2 clubs in Burnley and QPR respectively. If you're after an informed player to lump on with, then look no further than Alexis Sanchez. He's currently on form of 10.3 and has scored 3 in his last 2 games, so look no further if you can afford him. He is on the expensive side, so you might have to move some money around, and if you're looking to free up funds, now might be the time to get off Sterling. He's had 2 assists in his last 4 games, which isn't enough to keep him amongst the elite points players in the game, as he has dropped out of the overall dream team. It might be time to, shall we say, cut him from your team. There could be some interesting returns in these games. Will Diego Costa's fucking yellow box bugger off for him to make a return in this game week? He could get big points against QPR. He could feast on them like a lion tearing through an antelope, as long as that fucking box doesn't go yellow. The possible return that I'm really interested in is Walcott. He was on the bench against Sunderland, so will the game against Burnley see the England attacker get a run out? He's 9 million, so it is a gamble because he may or may not play. Also, will he hit the ground running as it pertains to form? It is a gamble, but he does get goals and he does get assists. He had double figures in both in the past few seasons. He is tailor-made for fantasy football points getting. Will it be too much to expect though for that to start straight away this game week? Maybe it is. Maybe it is a little bit too soon. So I would say, very least, get him on your watch list. See how things go. So, if we look at the two banker teams, which you would imagine is most likely to get you a clean sheet, who is there? Cahill and Terry aren't in form. Maybe Mertesacker, Chambers and Monreal are cheap and got good points last week, but not guaranteed to start, so it will be a bit of a gamble. In my opinion, forget Arsenal, forget Chelsea, look no further than Leighton Baines. Yes, I know. Suggesting you should put Leighton Baines in your team is like telling a guy who's drowning that he needs to get out of the water, but it is a logical call. Baines is currently the most informed player in the game, and Everton are playing Swansea at Goodison Park. Now, Swansea are a good team. I'm a big banker on him. Remember, I said Boney last week, and bang, he pops up with the brace. But they cannot beat Everton. Just can't do it. Never have and never will. Everton have been beating Swansea since people were taking rattles to football games. You only saw football highlights on Pathé newsreels, and Swansea City was Swansea Town. Leighton Baines is the obvious choice, yes, but he is the obvious choice for a reason. Seriously, if you hear hooves, think horses, not unicorns. It's the Manchester Derby on Sunday lunchtime, and I'm calling goals in this one. I mean, if West Ham can expose the weaknesses on the left side of Man City's defence, what could matter? Di Maria, Van Persie and co, Januzaj, what could they do to them? Now, granted, Aguero and co will cause them problems. Silva just came off scoring a cracker at Upton Park, and Nazari is back and fit. So all those managers who migrated from Costa to, say, Aguero last week, you can feel comfortable again. All I will say is, get on attackers in this game because there's going to be points. Mind you, all those managers who migrated over to Costa last week didn't really work out for you, did it? So, ain't no guarantees in this game. The Dipsy Dudes Divisional Championship. No change in the top three despite the opportunity to catch the leaders thanks to the low scoring game week. It was slim pickings throughout, but a special mention to Hula Hoopers, who managed a 73-point game week thanks to making Sanchez their captain. You know, last week was the perfect example of why this game is brilliant. It's Chelsea versus Manchester United Old Trafford. With 30 seconds to go, Ivanovic is on for a 5-point game week. It could have been 6, but he had an earlier yellow card. Within 30 seconds, all change. There was a 6-point swing. Bang! Second yellow card. Bang! Red card, he's sent off. Bang! Man United equalise. Suddenly, instead of a gentleman's 5 points, Ivanovic has got your team -1 points. That's why I love this game, because anything can change in a fantasy football minute. Ooh, ooh. Everything can change in a fantasy football league minute. Ooh, ooh, everything can change. And that's about it for this game week. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, click the old like button, leave us a comment, or subscribe to ensure that you get the latest Dipsy Dudes videos as soon as they are released. Remember, we have a social media presence on Twitter and Facebook, and a discussion group as well on fiso.co.uk. All the links into the descriptions about how you can get involved with that. I won't be back next week. as I'm actually in Florida for the next 2 weeks, so you'll have the company of my Dipsy Dudes associate, Rob. Look after him, he means well, and he'll do absolutely brilliant here for game week 11. I'll be back for game week 12 because there is an international break coming up in 2 weeks, so I will be back then. Good luck to all you managers out there for this game week, in game week 10 and also in game week 11. I hope you find your fantasy football heaven.